Hi there. How are you? My name is Lynette Gearberry, and I am your accounting instructor for Accounting 2310, fall semester 2014. Hello there, and thanks for taking my class. I'm looking forward to working with you. Odds are we'll be together for the whole year, so a long time to get to know each other. And my goal in this video is to do a quick review of the syllabus with you, since we won't be meeting in person. And I'd like to point out a couple of things that are important on it. I know you can read, so I won't sit here and read all of it to you, but let's hit the highlights, shall we? First of all, my name's Lynette, and you can call me that. I'm a CPA and an MBA. Worked at the college for about 28 years. That's pretty good because, I started when I was 9, so. Okay, first slide. I've showed you my phone numbers, both my work and home phone numbers, and I invite you to feel free to call me on either number. I'm at the college a lot, but I also work at home a lot. Since many of my classes are online and you're free to call either of those numbers, please don't call after 9 though, since I get up really early and walk my dogs, who you'll hear barking in some of the productions coming up. I go to bed early. My office is in the business building, 330 M. You can see my email there. And I have a consultation hour. I invite you to come by and see me. If you're going to come by on a Friday, since I don't have any classes on Friday, please give a call first, then I'll make sure I'm there. The textbook we're using is the 7th edition of Spiceland. It's an intermediate accounting book, and it's a very good book. It's a bit pricey because they've dumped a bunch of money into developing some platforms that we'll be using heavily. But the good news is that book will work for 2 semesters. You won't have to spend another dime. You do need the Connect Plus access code. So if you're going to buy a book, you're going to have to buy that access code as well. You can sign on to Connect and use the book and the access code for free for 14 days. So if money's standing in the way, it really isn't. You can have a free electronic book and everything you need to do your homework free for the first 2 weeks. So financial aid's not a problem, at least for that long. You can get help for all of the homework that I will assign to you, and there's volumes of it, in what we call the accounting lab. By now you've been with our campus long enough to know we have a room dedicated to this, but it's moved this semester. It's temporarily located on the first floor of the business building in 118. You can go there, see answers to some of the homework problems that are assigned, and to arrange for free tutoring. The tutor that helps in the accounting lab's wonderful. Her name's Marianne. She was a student of mine last year, and she did a fantastic job, so I know she's very good at this class, and she took it out of this book. Keep in mind then that we have the accounting lab. This is the first of 2 intermediate accounting courses, and they'll both be taught first in fall and then spring semesters. And you can read what we're going to cover in it. I'll tell you right off, about half of what we cover is a review from 1110 and 1120. Good news. And then we go into each topic in more detail. So some new, some old. Our course procedures are quite wonderful in this class. First of all, you need to realize there's an on-site and an online course, and I'm trying to use the same documents for both. The on-site course, of course, has lectures and learning experiences, and we spend a fair amount of the class time doing homework together in peer-to-peer learning groups. And in an online course, you can't really do that. So that's the biggest difference between the 2 courses. I'd like to invite all online students to join me on any on-site class that they choose. You can see right here that the on-site class meets on Monday and Wednesday, BB 317 from 10 to 11:50. Consider yourself invited to all of those classes. Both classes use a common course schedule, and I do that because we'll all be traveling the same pace, and I want the online students to know what we're doing in on-site courses, should they be able to and should they care to join us. I use a read, watch, and do approach in this course. You read some material, you watch some related media, and you do some um, interactive adaptive learning style quizzes. And then you do your homework. So it's a read, watch, and do. You read and watch, and then you do. You read and watch, and then you do. Repetition is the key. And intermediate, it's quite a wonderful course. It's a bit more difficult than any accounting course you've ever had. You remember the step up you took from 1110 to 1120, where there's a step up from 1120 to 2310, and another step up to 2410. But don't let step ups worry you. You're totally ready for it. You can see how the course is evaluated. 20% of your grade comes from homework, presentations, practice sets, and participation. 10% comes from the adaptive learning technology quizzes that are on Connect, and tests make up the final 70%. That's how your course grade will be computed. 70, 10, and it adds up to 100. Way better if I'm an accountant. Okay? I will be updating your grades periodically, and it will be a percent that you can see, and you can look at that percent on the syllabus and see if the course were to end right there, what your grade might be. For example, if you have an 84.9 average on the homework and tests you've taken, that would equate to a B. So you'll always know what your grade is. I only periodically update the grades because every time I transfer them, I have to do it by hand. And so I usually do it after each test, bring you up to date so you'll know for that chapter. Homework problems are a very integral part of the learning process of accounting. You learn accounting by doing it, and all homework is due at 11:59 on the date posted on the website and on the course schedule for on-site and online classes. There's homework that's assigned for Monday's class, which would be due Tuesday night, and there's homework assigned from Wednesday's class, which would be due Friday night, and then tests are on Saturday. You can do things like there's a 10% penalty. You don't need to remember what I just told you. It's on the course schedule about the due dates. But the penalty holds. It's 10% per day. There's no exception. I couldn't change it if I wanted to. It's programmed in. So just know, yes, you can do work late, and yes, it's penalized. That's homework. Let's talk a little bit about LearnSmart Quizzes. These are adaptive learning quizzes that are on Connect. And Connect watches what you do, and it analyzes where your weaknesses are, and it serves up questions related only to topics that I've picked by day. So the way this flows is you read a certain number of topics, and then you do the LearnSmart quizzes regarding that. And they're set for 15 minutes. The average student can finish them in 15 minutes. But if you miss it, it serves up more questions. If you get it right, then it moves on. You're not graded based on how many you got right or wrong, just on if you completed the assignment. You can do LearnSmart Slate. They also have a 10% per day penalty with no exceptions programmed in. Now let's talk about exams. There are several online chapter exams, and for the most part, I test by chapter, but there are a couple of exceptions to that. There's a date that you're supposed to take tests by, and this semester, for the first time, I'm trying to do tests online. Students who take tests late without making prior arrangements will be penalized 10% per day, and there's no exceptions to that. We also have a final exam. It is not online, it will be in person, and you need to score at least 50% on the final exam to receive a passing grade in the course. It doesn't matter what your course grade is prior to that. If you don't receive a 50% or higher score on the final exam, you won't pass the class. And then it says there's one sheet of notes front and back that you can handwrite to use when you take into the exam. We'll talk more about the final exam when we get further into the semester. I have some ideas. We'll see how it unfolds. Moving on a little bit, I want to talk about one assignment you have. It's an e-portfolio assignment. As a student in this course, you'll be required to post an assignment on your ePortfolio website. I have identified that assignment already. It's case 6.4, and you'll be asked to complete that assignment, print it, and then answer a question on what you learned from that assignment and how you think it will help you in your field of study. And then you'll upload that whole thing into your e-portfolio into a section that you'll make. But we'll talk more about that. I just want to be sure we have it on the syllabus so that everybody understands what's required of them. All of you should have an e-portfolio by now, and this will just go into your coursework section. If you need help, there's an address right here that you can visit, and you can also go to e-portfolio workshops that they held at the library. Moving on, the next part of my syllabus talks about accommodating disabilities. If you have need for any special accommodation, visit the DRC, and I put their phone number and their room number on this, and I verified it today, so I know it's accurate since things like that tend to change. If you have need for an accommodation, don't wait to do this. Do it immediately. Lots of students say, yeah, well, I don't want to do it. But if you need to do it, let's just get it done, and then it's in place. And if you choose not to do it, oops, let me get rid of that. That's your option. I can't edit these videos, so occasionally little things like that will pop up, or my beautiful dog will bark, or my phone will ring. Please forgive me for that. I'm not trying to be unprofessional. These aren't up for Academy Awards. These are me talking to you. Please laugh at little things like that. All right, let's move on to a note about responsibility. I'm going to do my very best to have things available to you to help you be successful in this course. This course is going to give you a little bit of run for your money. So you're going to need to work on it. I will do my part, and I need you to do your part. You can plan on spending at least a couple hours outside of class for every hour in class, and I know you hear that all the time, but it's probably true in an accounting course. There are things that I want you to do before class, and the way I teach allows me to go into topics in much greater detail if you're prepared. So when we look at the course schedule, you'll see what I want you to do before the class, and it is your responsibility to get that done. You'll be shunned by your group members if you don't. A word about a code of conduct. Since I'm teaching this class and testing online for the first time this semester, I would like to point out that I expect you to do your own work on all examinations and any other projects that I ask you to do that on. And to do otherwise would be in violation of the college's student code of conduct. And I have a reference to that if you would like to go and see what that is. A little link you can click. Let's not have any instances of that you really despise. And I know you do too, incidences where we get into such conflicts with one another. I want to be your instructor and your co-friend and your advisor and someone that helps you learn. I don't want to be a person standing over you making sure you're not cheating and doing those kind of things. And I know you don't want to be that kind of person. Studies show that over 50% of college students cheat. I found that amazing, and I know none of them are in my class. I'm sure of it. So here's course outline for our semester. You can see the chapters that we're going to cover and the topics. If you want to see specific assignments, then you'll need to take a peek at the course schedule and the Connect website, because you'll see details on that there. Now, personal note from me to you. Successful completion of this course is going to require that you take responsibility for completing your materials in a timely fashion. Getting behind is probably the number one reason for not being successful in accounting courses. But by now you already know that, and I typically find it on people getting behind in this course unless they get sick or something happens. I've provided a daily schedule. I call it the course schedule. Keeps us all moving at the same pace. And it helps you learn accounting at an even pace over an even period of time. Cramming simply doesn't work in an accounting course. It'd be like trying to eat an elephant in one setting. If you have to eat an elephant, do it in small bites. This is like it. Do that with this class, and it won't choke you. We also have high quality tutoring available in the lab. Remember that. And also remember, I invite you to personally join me in any class that you can make. Online students are forever welcome in my on-site classes. So good luck to you. I hope this ends up being a wonderful experience for you. And thanks for enrolling in my course. We'll be talking to you soon.